Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Right now, President Donald Trump is holding his weekly press briefing with the White House task force. Let's listen into what the president is saying.
To provide support for coronavirus response. On the subject of testing, we have now completed more than 1.1 million tests around the country. We're working very closely with governors around America to assist them in drive-through and community testing centers. I spoke with Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois today about a testing center that they've established in cooperation with the U.S. Public Health Service. We remind every governor and every laboratory and hospital in the country it's imperative that you continue to report daily to the CDC the results of those tests to give us the visibility on the data to best inform resource decisions. Also, we reiterated today to governors in person and also through correspondence to every governor the importance.
All right, if you'd like to continue watching the President's White House Task Force briefing, just head to our website, valleynewslive.com. With 13 new cases of COVID-19 in North Dakota, and 9 of those coming from Cass County, state leaders and now Fargo-Cass Public Health are strongly urging you to do what you can to stop the spread. There are now 122 cases of coronavirus in North Dakota. Along with the 9 new cases in Cass County, there are 2 in Williams County, 1 in Montreal, 1 in Grant. The patients fall in a wide range of ages, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. At his daily news briefing, Governor Doug Burgum said nearly all the schools in the state have had their distance learning plans approved, adding schools will not reopen until further notice. The governor also says because of the sanitizer shortage, vendors in the state are working to make more, which will go to hospitals first, then retailers.
There's no bottling facility in North Dakota for hand sanitizer, so even though we're able to produce the actual sanitizer in bulk, if people have and are going through your hand pump, squirt nozzles, bottles that you have at home for as you burn through those, save your plastic bottles, because we may have a way to have you be able to refill those.
So far, over 4,200 North Dakotans have been tested for COVID-19. 30 people have recovered from the disease and 21 people are now hospitalized. Again, state health officials have confirmed 126 positive cases in North Dakota. You can head over to our VNL News app to see the counties affected in North Dakota and Minnesota. You can also stay updated on schools and closings and a full list of online services for North Dakota residents. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, the total number of confirmed cases there has jumped to 629. That's an additional 53 cases from yesterday. The virus is also responsible for 2 more deaths, bringing the total to 12. Most of those cases are around the Twin Cities area, but there are 6 in Clay County, 4 in Beltrami, and 1 in Wilkin County. Again, the number of positive COVID-19 cases in Minnesota has risen to 629. Over 19,000 people have been tested. A total of 56 people have been hospitalized and 26 people are in the ICU. The state now has 12 deaths due to COVID-19. The temperatures, they look great again today, but as we move through the day, the weather has been changing. Let's find out more from our First Alert Storm team and Hutch.
All right, thanks so much. We do have some weather that is going to be changing as we go through this week, and it's going to be impactful as well. So much so that we've declared Thursday a First Alert Weather Day. Now, what that means is it's going to be very impactful for many of us across the valley, and so much so we may need to grab the shovel. So let's take a look at your forecast as we go through the night tonight. A couple things you need to know about the impacts of this storm. Some will see 5 to 10 inches of snow, and I put for many here, many of our North Dakota counties will see this much snow. Others will get rain and freezing rain as we work our way through. It's going to be that heavy, wet snow. That's the variety. We're going to have some significant areas of sleet and some freezing rain causing some slippery conditions. It ends Friday morning, starts late Wednesday night. So all day Thursday looks to be rough and tumble as we will see it begin as rain here in the valley, mix with freezing rain and sleet, and then change over to snow. The heaviest of the snow will be out to the west. But first, for tonight, we do have a few clouds out there, and it's been a gorgeous day across the valley. Your temperatures are going to be in the 40s through the remainder of the evening here in Fargo. And in Grand Forks, it'll be into the overnight before we slip down into those upper 30s. Andrea, here in a minute, I'm going to tell you where these are going. There's rumbles of thunder out in the western Dakotas. Some of you may hear that. Our Bauer details in just a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. A man is behind bars tonight after police say he murdered a man in Perham, Minnesota late Monday night. It happened in the 600 block of First Avenue South. 40-year-old Derek Swery has yet to be formally charged, but is currently booked in the Ottertail County Jail for second-degree murder. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley was the only reporter on scene this morning and has our story.
Officers with the Minnesota BCA were on scene at the Perham home for over 10 hours this morning, leaving behind a small string of crime tape and many unanswered questions.
It's such a good town, a great place, great school. Everyone here is great, and then to hear something like this crazy happen, it's just really concerning.
Neighbors say the sight and sound of multiple officers swarming to this home had many of them scratching their heads, as many say they didn't hear gunshots or any fighting.
We ended up seeing a cop pull up. Well, we were concerned, and my buddy went to go talk to him, but we knew he was on a mission. And then he comes out with a guy in cuffs.
Friends and family say the victim and suspect, 40-year-old Derek Swery, were both friends and roommates. And neighbors say the two were relatively new to the area, only living in this home for about a year or so.
It's just crazy how people that you may know can be like that, you know?
The victim's family says they're both shocked and heartbroken, adding they're hoping for answers and justice to be served quickly. In Perham, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Police say the victim's name and more information on the incident will be released later this week. Crews are responding to a fire in a building and a garage in rural Gardner, North Dakota. Officials on scene say the structures are now considered total losses. Stay with Valley News Live as we continue to learn more about this story. A family is safe following a fire that started in the attic of a Moorhead home. The fire department says the call came in around 10:45 this morning at 1207 19th Street South for smoke coming from the attic. Crews on scene were able to get the fire out, but the house has some damage. Officials say the family was able to get out too, but now they have no home. The fire is still under investigation. The Jamestown Police Department has identified the victim of a fatal accident in Jamestown as 16-year-old Ava Dunnigan. Jamestown police took the call just before midnight Sunday night. They arrived to find a 16-year-old girl pinned under a pickup. They tried to help the girl, but then quickly realized she wasn't breathing and didn't have a pulse. She was declared dead on the scene after they lifted the vehicle off of her. They are still investigating. The pandemic has caused many schools, sports, and events to be canceled, and it's leaving children at home with nothing to do. Families in the metro say they're embracing the change with fun and educational activities to pass the time. Valley News Team's Kelly Hubbard explains.
Whether it means going for a walk or chalking it up to sidewalk art, many families like Lindsay Hafes from Bemidji are pedaling forward, bringing waves to the living room.
We did the whole virtual bike ride thing. So I just got onto YouTube and typed in virtual bike ride, and it came up options for like Hawaii, Santa Monica, like all kinds of places. Just trying to stay active and do lots of activities. We've done a lot of painting, a lot of coloring. We've been outside a lot.
I try to think of anything possible, from getting up, doing our routine, doing his schoolwork. He listens to his announcements from his principal. Then we get into his math and spelling.
Or have you ever been interested in space? NASA released some fun activities for kids and families. Other families are teaching their kids real-life skills like how to write checks and balance checkbooks. And other families are teaching their kids paleontology on YouTube. In West Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
And here's another option for your time at home. Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson will be teaching his weather class twice next week. We'll be announcing the days and times on our Valley News Live news app. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced today that a State Department official has died from the coronavirus. During a briefing today, Pompeo said that 4 or 5 dozen State Department employees have also tested positive for the virus.
We've had other members of the team come down with COVID-19 as well. I think we're now up to 4 or 5 dozen people who have tested positively inside the state. Well, this includes our locally employed staff, the full State Department team, and we're happy to provide that data to you as well.
He also stressed the State Department continues providing humanitarian and medical assistance to countries fighting the virus. The United Way of Cass Clay is stepping into the arena, helping those impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. On its website, the nonprofit launched a community response fund. You can give money that will go to groups assisting families during these tough times. United Way President Christy Huber says there's been a nearly 100% increase this week from last week on people seeking food support.
We fully expect that the needs of the community will be large. And so we have set up this fund. We know that the community will give generously to support our neighbors.
Huber says so far those being hit the hardest by this pandemic are the more than 9,000 families in our area living along or below the poverty line. You can visit unitedwaycassclay.org if you're interested in helping out. Still ahead tonight, one more tool to help patients with COVID-19 without endangering the doctors who are treating them.
We have a few gray skies across the valley heading into our evening. We have big time changes coming on Thursday. I'll have the latest in your hour by hour forecast on heavy snow for some next.